Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is Frank the Vamp, your host, and tonight we are going to continue Horror Month honoring one of the world's best directors. Yep. One of the best directors who ever lived, Stanley Kubrick. And Mr. Kubrick was just superb, a genius. He made movies that changed lives, that redefine cinema. There's few movies that you can go to that you can say that have changed your life, changed the way you see things, the way that popular culture has changed, the references made to his films still very much alive today. Anywhere from animated things such as The Simpsons to just regular TV shows. Once a while you'll be watching anything, like any sitcom, and then there'll be a Stanley Kubrick reference. It's just so powerful. Now, the three films that I'm going to I'm going to talk about him, three films he made. Where I'm going to do a review on all three. One of them I have already done, which is A ClockWork Orange. We're going to talk about those three films really quickly because it's, I want to concentrate on telling you, my feelings of what made him special and why are his movies the best around, basically. And I picked, well, since I've already started talking about the Clockwork Orange, why don't we begin? And by the way, I'm going to do individual reviews on all three movies, so I think I just said it. So I'm going to just touch briefly on them, but mostly going to concentrate on the great things about it. So, A Clockwork Orange, the story of a troubled youth, Alex, who basically did the worst horrible crimes, an anarchist, a murderer, a hoodlum, uncontrollable thug. He is tried to reform by the penal system, and by doing things pretty much torture him into changing and using behavior modification with drugs and psychological torture, pretty much, with the help of a wonderful score. This movie, like I said on the review, it was so groundbreaking that it was sort of misunderstood because it got banned out of many countries, including the UK. And for many years, it was really hard to see that in that country. It was really hard to see that film, and it's a shame because it's one of the best, brutal. I don't know, metaphors that you could see. It's just so brutal, so violent, so incredible. It's just a beautiful film. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about that film is that Kubrick, brought that, he didn't want to just tell you, hey, he could have made a film just trying to portray how difficult it is to be a young person, how hard it's to grow up with parents that don't pay attention to him, that the system is failing him, and he wanted to be brutal about it. He wanted to show you how bad can a troubled youth can become, and not only that, and how badly can the government or the authorities try to correct him and fail, and even make things worse. And it's just it just works on so many levels, and that's the thing that Kubrick did is just relay a message in such a powerful way that it was going to stay with you. And even today, years and years later of its original release, that film still is controversial, still is thought-provoking, and still it's one of the best works I've ever seen. The next film I wanted to talk about, it's The Shining. The Shining was Stephen King's book adaptation, and it's one of the best horror films I've ever seen. Um, Kubrick was just that powerful. Anything he touched, he has the Midas touch, and he decided to make this horror movie. And he not only made a horror movie, he made a haunting movie. Um, he gave a wonderful actor, just like Malcolm McDowell did. He owned Alex. He made you fear Alex. He made you have nightmares. You would have nightmares about Jack there, and the "Here's Johnny" line that reportedly Jack Nicholson improvised in this film. It's just incredible. It's been used in so many other horror films. It's quoted millions of times. But perhaps the most powerful things are the nightmares visuals. You know, I love nightmares visuals in films. I always said to you, if you watch my Italian horror wing, where I talk a lot about Dario Argento being one of my favorites, because he uses so much nightmares visuals, and this is nightmares visual galore. The naked, rotting corpse woman on the bathroom. It's one of the worst things you can ever see, and scariest. The twins, and at the hole, and appearing murder and then talking, and also the all the ghosts throughout the haunting atmosphere. It's just incredible. The plot deals with a couple with their young son who has psychic abilities, a psychic ability called the Shining, to communicate to others. They become caretakers of this hotel who's closed for the winter, and basically the actual haunting thing is not just the supernatural, it's just the fact that you're trapped under several feet of snow. When you look outside, there's nothing but snowstorms, and even though you have food and shelter, your whole claustrophobic thing starts to manage. So this movie works in so many levels. Like I said, the nightmares visual, though, the little boy singing Red Rum, murder, backwards, and it's just superb. Um, Truly a haunting experience. The way Shelley Duvall, playing the wife, she's looks terrified, and trying to protect her son out of her own father who's losing his mind, and also deals with the scares of alcoholism. You know, People change when they take substances, either alcohol or drugs, and what happens afterwards is horrid. Many people have to deal with that type of thing in real life. So that on its own, it's very powerful. Finally, wanted to talk about Full Metal Jacket. Um, Once again, a completely different genre. Talks about the horrible things that went on in the Vietnam War, and he works one of the best war films. See, that was the thing about Kubrick. Is that he made 2001: Space Odyssey and turned out to be one of the best science fiction films of all time. He goes and takes on The Shining and turns out to be one of the best horror films of all time. Then he takes on to make Full Metal Jacket and was one of the best war films of all time. So everything that he touched, it was just gold. He just his direction, his power, his powerful delivery. It went miles, and the way he developed characters here. The drill sergeant, played by, I believe his name was Mr. Feely. Um, that guy, the way that he tried to dehumanize the soldiers, dehumanize this private Pyle, to become a real killing machine, devoting him of all human thought. It's the way of that is so scary to me. I never been in war combat. I've been in wars. Um, a little bit. One day I might do a video on that, but I never been in combat. But if There's nothing worse than listening when you're a kid and trying to hide from a bullet. Let me tell you, that's really scary. I hope no one has ever has to go through that. But he doesn't make you fear the bullet. He makes you want to fear that you have to put a bullet on somebody to defend yourself. And in order to do that, you can't think about your humanity. You have to lose your humanity. And the character loses his humanity so much that he becomes a monster. So it's just so powerful. The second half of the film deals with the tough decisions that you have to make in combat. What if you have to kill somebody? And if you do have to kill somebody, how would you do it? Would you do mercy killings if somebody was dying, your enemy, and there was no way you could take him to safety? Would you break the protocols of war? It's just I'm laughing because it's not a laughing matter, but his thoughts are so powerful that are incredible. Now, his dark humor, man. The Vietnamese prostitute, me so horny, me love you long time. That's one of the most quoted lines ever, too. Um, this is just I am in awe of Mr. Kubrick, and one of the best ever, one of my favorites. Some side notes of um, to him are the not only the characters were extremely powerful. We mentioned three in those films. The drill sergeant being so dehumanizing, Alex, the sociopath, and Jack Nicholson playing Johnny. The father, with alcoholism problems. It's just, we talked also about, the way that he made, impact, as a filmmaker. It's just that the films were just so iconic. So he changed the game, and that's one of the most important things he did. He made you think. He pushed you so hard that your mind exploded with thoughts and powerfulness. And the other thing that he did, extremely well, one of the things that is his cinematography. My gosh, 2001 Space Odyssey, unbelievable. I mean, for being at that time, I believe I want to say 60. I don't have it with me, but it was somewhere in the late 60s, I believe, early 70s. And the special effects are superb. And the the brutality, and the futuristic things of the sets of A Clockwork Orange were really incredible. Some of those sets look so futuristic, and the theater, the destroyed theater stage that looks to goes to the debauchery of a young woman. Or I can think of Full Metal Jacket with realistic fighting, so powerful, so hit. I mean, no, remember all those the other two films, Full Metal Jacket and um, The Shining, will have separate reviews. I hope you enjoyed the video on Kubrick, one of the best, and expect more on the director series. We honor Mr. Kubrick, and I wish I could sing. I wish I could sing that movie from Doctor Strangelove, but I can just imagine it. We'll meet again. Don't know where, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Peace out, my friends. Thank you for watching. Farewell, Stanley Kubrick. See you guys again some sunny day.